Hello, this is Mrs. Smith, and we're going to be going over the Grade 5, Chapter 6, Check My Progress Study Guide for Lessons 6 through 9. All right, so our first question is number 1, 36 hundredths times 100. Okay, I'm going to get rid of our buttons down here. Okay, now when you multiply by a power of 10, it's fairly easy. You count the number of zeros, and that's how many times you move the decimal point. Since we're multiplying, the number is going to get greater, so that means the decimal point is going to be moved to the right. So we start off and we move it 2 places to the right. So we have 36 as our answer, because it's going to go 1, 2. So the decimal point will be here, which equals 36. Right. Question number 2. 5 and 18 hundredths times 10 to the second power. Well, 10 to the second power is a 1 with 2 zeros, which is 100. And that means we're going to be moving the decimal point over twice to the right. 1, 2. So my answer is 518. All right, question number 3. We have 1 and 9 hundredths times 10 to the second power. All right, 10 to the second power is a 1 with 2 zeros. Okay, and that means we're going to be increasing this number by a power of 100. So we're going to go over 2 times to the right with our decimal, which is 109. Question number 4, we have 6 and 74 hundredths times 10 to the third power. 10 to the third power is a 1 with 3 zeros. That means we're going to have to move the decimal point over 3 spaces. Now to illustrate this, I'm going to write my number down here again. So I'm moving it over 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. This means I have to add a 0 as a placeholder. So my final answer is 6,740. Okay. Question number 5. Now, reading the directions is important. This says to estimate. So we're not finding an exact answer, we're estimating. Now, one thing to consider here is we have 35 and 72 hundredths divided by 6. We could round, and in this case, it is actually rounding, but what we want to talk about is compatible numbers. So I have the number 6 here, so we want to think about multiples of 6, okay? So I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, and 42, 48, and going on, all right? Now this number is 35, which would be right about here, okay? So as you can see, that's between 30 and 36, and it's closer to 36. So I could do 36 divided by 6, okay? And that actually is really good because if I were to round this to the nearest whole number, that actually would be 36. So my answer would be $6. Okay. Now for this problem, we have $10.01 divided by 9. Again, there's many ways to estimate. One way that I would estimate here is I probably would do 10 divided by 10, and I would just get 1, okay? Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Now that I'm looking at this, because we estimated, it's probably better not to include these decimal places. And the reason why is because when you include decimal places, it's giving the indication that your answer is exact to that decimal place. So I would just forget about these zeros. Because we estimated, I would just put $6 and $1, something like that maybe. I mean, I guess you'd have to if it's actually money, never mind. But just consider that's an estimate. We could say about. You don't want to write that down, okay? All right, next, 7. Oh, that's because it's money. You'd have to actually have decimal points for money. If it wasn't money, if it was just a number, then you wouldn't include the decimal places. So for this example, I'm going to show you that. Okay, so for here, you see this week. I see how we want to make this. I mean, I feel like rounding this to 80 would be kind of a big difference, okay? Like 80 divided by 8 equals 10. But we could do 81 divided by 9 equals 9, okay? I think that might be a better estimate. We could also do 88 divided by 8 equals 11, okay? So anyway, any of these answers I think would be acceptable for 5th grade, 10, 9, 10, or 11, as long as you show your work, okay? Again, it's an estimate. Now notice that I did not include any decimals here, and that's because when you do an estimate, you don't, we're rounding to the nearest whole number here, so, or like we're rounding to a whole number, and I didn't round to decimal values, so I don't want to include decimals in my answer, okay? Now, for the money, obviously, money has decimal places, so it would be difficult to write it without it. Okay, next. All right, so here I would do 130 divided by 13, and that would be 10, because 13 times 10 equals 130, okay? So my answer would be 10. That one's easy. I'm glad they gave us an easier one at the end. All right, question number 9. Look for a pattern to solve. Now this question is a little bit more difficult, and I actually did it, and then I want to go back and redo it again because I came up with a different way to solve it. That might be easier. When you have a question, you want to read it twice. All right, Darwin will arrive at the bus station after 4 p.m. Buses arrive every 35 minutes beginning at 6 a.m. When will Darwin's bus arrive? Okay, this is a complicated question. So again, when you have a question, don't assume that you're going to understand it the first time you read it. So read it again. Darwin will arrive at the bus station after 4 p.m. Buses arrive every 35 minutes beginning at 6 a.m. When will Darwin's bus arrive? Now, we're actually going to start off with the second sentence, and the reason why is because 6 a.m. occurs before 4 p.m. So, the first bus comes at 6 a.m. Okay, and another bus is going to come every 35 minutes. So plus 35 minutes, plus 35 minutes, etc. until 4 p.m. So the 4 p.m. comes, okay, and then another bus is going to come after 4 p.m. and that's going to be his bus. That's going to be Darwin's bus. Okay, so what time is his bus going to be there? All right. Now I made like a timeline and I added 35 minutes and it just got to be, or 35 minutes, and then I thought it got kind of complicated. So I realized that maybe just having a clock would be better. So that's what I'm going to do here. All right, and let me zoom this back here. All right, so here we go. All right, let's see here. All right, so it's 6 a.m. All right, so 6 a.m. is at the top of the clock, okay? All right, so we're going to go to 35 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So I'm right here, and that's 6:35. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's 7, 25, 30, 35. So now it's 7:10. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 7:45. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So now I passed that. So this is 8:20. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 8:55. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 9:30. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay? I'm at 10:05. Okay? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, and now I'm at 10:40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 11:15. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 11:55. Sorry, 11:50. Sorry, 11:50. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at 12:25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And now I'm at 1 o'clock. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm at, now see here, see now I can actually follow this pattern here if I wanted to, because see, this was 6 and this is 1. Okay, I could follow that pattern if I wanted to. So that's 1:35, okay, because this is a pattern question apparently. So this is 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, okay, and then this is 6:35, 1:35, then I'd have 2:10, 7:10, 2:10, then 2:45, 7:45, then 3:20, 8:20, then I'd have 3:55, 8:55, and then I'd have 4:30, okay? So that's kind of like the pattern, all right? So it'd be 4:30 p.m. All right, so the answer to question 9 is 4:30 p.m. And I know that that is kind of like a complicated question. That's the most difficult question there, okay? But sometimes you need a little challenge in your life. All right, now, question number 10, which is an easier question. Thank goodness they're leaving us off with an easy question. Philip did 14 sit-ups on Monday, 21 sit-ups on Tuesday, and 28 sit-ups on Wednesday. If the pattern continues, how many sit-ups will he do on Friday? All right, so Philip, let me see, I'm going to put this. All right, so I got this. So Philip has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So on Monday, he does 14. Tuesday, he does 21. Wednesday, he does 28. And we want to know how many he does on Friday. Now this is when you need to know your multiplication facts. Why? Because these are all multiples of what number? Multiples of the number 7. This is 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4, 7 times 5, 7 times 6. So this would be 30, and this would be, this would be 30, I'm just multiplying the wrong numbers. This would be 35, and this would be 42. Okay, so the answer is 42 sit-ups. All right, there you go. So Chapter 6, Check My Progress Study Guide, Lessons 6 through 9. All right, so I wish you all the best and good luck.